All right, here we are to the 9th episode of the Spicy Salsa Podcast. I'm almost on episode 10, yay. Anyways, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, more than likely. We'll see. Sometimes it tends to drag on because I tend to rant. But yeah, it's good to be doing another episode. I haven't got all of the segments out from the 8th podcast, so I'm going to try to pump out the rest of the segments, like the individual videos on YouTube, just days in a row. Normally what I do is like upload a video every 2 days. It's a Let's Play and then a podcast. Let's Play a podcast. Oh, excuse me. Oh, God. Anyway, I had a burp. But yeah, so those aren't all up yet. I'm a little behind on that. And I wanted to get this podcast out on time specifically, and especially because the Metroid Prime, which is one of my favorite series, had an update, and we'll get to that. Today we're going to talk about Destiny and Bungie, Bungie's split from Activision and what that means for Destiny. Let's go with that. EA and them canceling another Star Wars game, what that means for them. The talk of a Sonic Adventure remake, which I mentioned I would talk about on this one in the last podcast because I didn't get to it last time, even though I wanted to. Sorry, I hit the microphone. And then finally the Metroid Prime 4 update, which we'll actually start with in a moment here. And I'll get the screen up in a moment. But yeah, first, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, which right now nobody currently is, that's fine. I'm getting really close to my follower count, and don't forget to watch me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/BrockO'Clock. And you can follow me on Twitter @FeralBrock and the official Twitter page @SpicySalsaGaming. So... But anyways, let's move on, and I'll get the little screen up here, and let's talk about this Metroid Prime thing, which I just watched, so screen's all good, you can see everything, and I'm not going to show the video. You know how Nintendo is with videos, so I'm not going to do that because I'll get the copyright, and I'll have to deal with that shit, but there honestly wasn't much to it. Look at all these. These are the things I'm into, I guess. There wasn't much to it, I suppose. I don't know if there's been anything else since then. I haven't looked that much into it. But, hello. There we go. Yeah, and I agree with this statement. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, Metroid Prime 4 has been delayed. Extreme delay. A huge one. I think Nintendo, based on the video... What was this man's name? I would like to know this man's name so that I can... Let me mute the video so that when it... In fact, hang on, just to avoid the copyright. I just want to see his name. Shinya Takahashi comes out. He's in charge of development at Nintendo. That's all it says. He makes this video for us. Oops, ignore that. That's my paper. That says, basically, Metroid Prime 4 has been delayed, and they're starting all over again from the ground up. So they completely scrapped the original development, which is crazy. But yep, that's exactly what they're doing, and they're bringing in Retro Studios, which is the creators of Metroid Prime 1 and 2. Did they make 3? I'll look that up while we're doing this. Oh, I'll get you your screen back too. Metroid Prime 3. Yep, it was Retro Studios. They're coming back. They're going to do Metroid Prime 4, which is really good news, I think. I was a little surprised they weren't doing it in the beginning. Now, don't get me wrong. I was very curious to see what a just straight up Nintendo developed Metroid Prime game was gonna be like. All these cool ass pictures. God, Metroid's fucking cool. Basically, like, but I was curious to see like what a Metroid Prime game just developed by Nintendo would be like. However, this is probably for the best. And my personal thought is I think that here, let's go into this at least. The reason I say this is for the best is just because at least they're honest about it. For one thing, it was really nice that they were just clear. They're like, look, shit's not going well. We're starting over. We want to make sure that it's a quality game. And it's a little bit, and I'm not the one who brought this up. I've seen it on Twitter and a couple things. People are saying like, oh, it's kind of like with Breath of the Wild. Now, don't expect Breath of the Wild level of quality to come out of this, although if it, I don't know, maybe. If it does, that'd be awesome. I'm just scrolling through pictures here. What the hell? But I could totally see like this being the best Metroid Prime we've had, and they're probably going to do a lot of neat different things because of the fact that they're able to start over, keep some of the new ideas or old ideas, have a bunch of new ideas. They're kind of collaborating again, you know, as a Nintendo and Retro. So yeah, I'm hoping that it's Breath of the Wild quality, but I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I'm willing to bet that restarting the development of this game is one of the smartest things Nintendo's ever done. I think they have another juggernaut, because even though Metroid has always been like a huge Nintendo series, it always feels like it's slightly tier 2 behind Mario and Zelda, you know, just a little bit. Like if Mario and Zelda are like S tier, Metroid is like A. Because everybody loves them, you know, Prime, especially the Prime series 1, 2, and 3, Super Metroid, whatever. But yeah, my personal opinion is I do think this is the best thing Nintendo could have done. I don't think that I can't, it's one of those things like I'm like, I just can't imagine this sucking, you know, like when we'll have to see some gameplay, but you know, when you like see a game or you hear about it and you're just like, this isn't going to suck. Like Elder Scrolls, when Skyrim, whatever, I had so much faith in Skyrim coming out before they even showed the first trailer. I was like, Elder Scrolls 5 is going to be amazing. It just is. Oops, sorry about the mic again. I gotta stop doing that. I need to stop like spazzing out or something. But yeah, I mean, really, like that. It's just one of those things. Like, I'm pretty sure like the moment we see a trailer for this game, when it finally shows up, it's just not gonna suck. You're just be like, oh, it's just too good. The trailer's too good. This game's not gonna suck. Like, there's a lot of things I see. Like, I'll see like the trailer for Days Gone, which is like, oh, the gameplay looks kind of neat. I don't know. Is it what, you know? It's good? Probably gonna be good, but is it gonna be that good? Like, no. I'm thinking Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be that fucking good, and I really hope so. Retroware, by the way, or Retro Studios, they do a lot of other really good games besides just the Metroid Prime series. So they haven't like really faltered recently. Oh, I didn't know they did Mario Kart 7. That's a really good one too. But these games, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, phenomenal games, and those are recent. Like, Retro has not, they've never made a bad game. Look at all these. Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, the trilogy, which, yeah. Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mario Kart 7, remake of that, just in 3D, and then Tropical Freeze, and now Metroid Prime 4. Their record is flawless. Oh man, I'm so excited for this. But, oh, you are here. You want this? You want spicy salsa, Mad Beast? What kind of spicy salsa are you looking for? But anyways, I'm going to move on to the next topic. That's all I have to say about Metroid. There's not a whole lot there, but I did want to acknowledge that obviously that happened. And that's a thing that we got updated on. So, but anyways, let's go over to the one advertised in your podcast name. I don't have... You're going to be a little disappointed. I don't actually have Spicy Salsa on me. I'm very sorry, Mr. Mad Beast. You're gonna have to go to the store and get some actual spicy salsa if you want some, unfortunately. But thank you for watching. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Well, thank you very much, Mad Beast. Thank you for joining the podcast. I'm going to move on to my next topic now, which maybe you heard about. But actually, it's more of... Okay, so Star Wars... what was it? The newest Star Wars game just got canceled again. And by again, I mean another new Star Wars game. What was it called? Shit, I don't know. Star Wars, whatever. EA canceled another Star Wars game, and I think this was this the open world one? Story-driven Star Wars game. Yeah. Okay, or is this the story one? Whatever. Well, the point is, they canceled another new Star Wars game. And it was just a few years ago that they had canceled the single-player one. I might have these backwards. They canceled either the single-player or the open-world one a few years ago. And now they were like, oh, because nobody would want to play a single-player Star Wars, so then they were going to do like an open world. And then they just canceled another one a few days ago, and I gotta imagine at this point, and this is what the topic's really about, that Disney has got to be looking at EA and they're like, what the fuck? Because think about it. Since EA has acquired the license to Star Wars, what have they done? They've done Battlefield, EA Star Wars. They've done the first Battlefield, like the remake, right? Or Battlefront, sorry. I always call it Star Wars Battlefield because that's literally what it is. And then they did the very controversial, when it came out, Battlefront 2. Like, that was not a good look for them, right? And then that's it, I guess. They basically, yeah. So they had the very controversial microtransaction ridden Battlefront 2. They canceled an open world one. They canceled a single player one. People have this really bad look on Star Wars games right now, and Disney's got to be, now don't get me wrong, they're still making a fuck ton of money off of this, both companies, Disney and EA. So Disney has got to be happy with that. But still, when your reputation for Star Wars currently in the gaming community, or rather Star Wars games in the gaming community, is just not good, that Disney's got to feel a little gypped on that deal, especially since they could be having other companies make, good Star Wars games. And I actually think, from what I understand, Respawn Entertainment, is making a Star Wars game, which is interesting. But that makes me think that in 2023, which I think, if I have that correctly, is the year that EA's deal with Star Wars is up. My prediction is that EA is going to lose the rights to Star Wars. I don't think they're going to renew that. I can't imagine. Like, can you really imagine that? I just don't see it happening. Nobody would play a single-player Star Wars. One word, card. I don't know what that means, but no. Yeah, EA's stupid. For them to think that nobody wants a, like, single player Star Wars experience with an interesting story, a side story or whatever, they're stupid. Because if you look at the Star Wars games that are single player, even this one, this game right here, no, sorry, not The Force Awakens, that's the movie, Force Unleashed, remember that? Yeah, those games were highly, like, people loved these ones, and I'm not even going to get into, like, Shadow of the Empire. The sequel to this one did not get good reviews, but people were still like, oh yeah, it's like cool and stuff, it's just there's some issues and stuff from a gameplay perspective, blah 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 blah. People loved these games. Everybody knows who the Apprentice is because of these. No, for EA to think that nobody wants a single player Knights of the Old Republic, yeah, that one too. That's probably the prime example of like how to do, you know, Star Wars game single player. And of course people want a new one of those. Now Knights of the Old Republic, to get, you know, that, like a sequel to that would be I'm not saying don't do it, but it's one of those things that it's like, is it ever gonna actually live up to the hype? I feel like people would be disappointed with it regardless. They'd always be like, the old ones are better kind of thing. But I guess it's worth a shot. But whatever. That's another topic entirely. But yeah, so I think Respawn Entertainment is working on one. I don't know anything about it. Action adventure game set in the Star Wars universe. No additional details. Yeah. So they're the company that made Titanfall, by the way. And while I did not like Titanfall 1, so I did not play 2, I hear that Titanfall 2 was actually surprisingly really good. So hopefully that's what it's called, Jedi. Oh, you know what? I remember when they announced this too at E3. I think it was during it was the EA press conference. They just did this awkward ass fucking, like, dude was in the crowd. They're like, we happen to have this guy from Respawn. What are you working on? He's like, Star Wars. And then that was it. And they said the name of it or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Either that or I'm getting that mixed up. But yeah, it was revealed at E3 2018. Yeah, that was shitty reveal. Anyways, they tried to make it just like one of those things where like they go up to the developer and they're just like, oh, Shigeru Miyamoto, you happen to be here today. Wow, you're at our press conference. Give us the inside scoop. And Miyamoto says something like, well, if you must know, I have to know Mario game. And no one cheers, because everyone's like, okay, yeah. I mean, is there anything else to it? Because we get Mario games all the time. And then the person interviewing, you know, in this false instance that I've made, Miyamoto, has to be like, wow, no way, that was exclusively heard right here. Yeah, I remember when they announced that. Anyways, it's so off topic, but I have higher hopes for that than I do any future of EA and Star Wars collaboration, and I hope Disney fucking strips it from them. I hope they do. Who made Knights of the Old Republic? That wasn't was that the company that made Fallout? This is BioWare. Okay, very good company. So okay. Well, anyways, yeah. Really, my topic there. I just wanted to talk about like how I don't think they're gonna get the rights back to this. I think it's ridiculous that they've already canceled 2 Star Wars games. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd rather them cancel them than them be shitty. But they didn't say they were shitty. Like I said, with the single-player one, they were like, we can't make money off of it because no one's interested in that. And I'm like, so you can't put microtransactions in. That's my best guess, because you know EA likes their fucking microtransactions. And then this new one, I actually don't even know why they canceled this new let's see. Before I go to the next subject, let's see. Canceled. Open world Star Wars game canceled. Let's just go to this website. Indeed, EA Vancouver, the team were canceled. It was initially reason being, according to Kotaku, so take that with a grain of salt. The publisher's top brass is keen to release something in the Star Wars universe sooner than was possible with Project Orca. Efforts will now be redirected to a smaller scale Star Wars game that, rumor has it, will be releasing mid to late 2020. Perhaps to coincide with the... I don't know about that, but... Oh, well. Yeah, so almost for no fucking reason whatsoever. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. Another shorter subject, and then we'll get to my big one. And like I said, this will be a shorter podcast, so just two more subjects here. But let's talk about Bungie's split from Activision a little bit. Now, this is kind of old news too. This came out though, like right after I did the last podcast. In fact, it might have even been the day of, but it was like right after I'd finished the last podcast, and I was like, well, shit. So, Bungie, and actually, I didn't even know this, but I guess they weren't getting along too well with Activision. There was some... thank you for following on Twitch, Mad Beast. Sorry for the YouTubers that I'm promoting my Twitch while I'm doing this segment. Here, we'll start that one over. So, Bungie split from Activision. And there's a lot of people optimistic about this, and we'll get to that in a minute. But really, like, what does this mean overall for Destiny? A series that... Hardly a series, there's only 2 of them. But a series that, for me, Okay, I don't know if I've ranted about it, about Destiny on YouTube yet, but Destiny is like my series that I like to make fun of. And not because it's terrible, I don't even think it's bad, really. It's good, but here's my thing with Destiny. I feel like it's an average game that people wanted to be really good. Right? When Destiny 1 was coming out, everybody was like, this is going to define what the next generation's all about. And it didn't. It just didn't. It was an average game. It was okay. Like, straight up, just normal first-person shooter. Yeah, you could play with your friends. Too bad, like, playing with your friends doesn't really add much of a benefit except in raids, which is the best part of the game. You know, because the raids actually require some kind of, like, cooperation or something like that. But no, I mean, it was just kind of an open world. You shoot things. You run and shoot. And, like, every mission is like, now shoot this, now shoot that. No puzzles, really. Not a whole lot of interesting gameplay design. I digress. That's not why I'm talking about this, but I'm just... it makes me somewhat more optimistic for future Destiny games. Now, Destiny 2 came out. I liked that one, but obviously there was some things microtransaction-wise, and I'm wondering if Bungie, if this is somewhat of a part of the reason. I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's tons of reasons, right? When 2 big juggernauts get together like this, and then they split up. Oh, excuse me. You got to get a yawn in every stream. When they come together like this and they split up, there's not just like one reason, right? There's usually a ton of reasons. Like, why did I leave my job at wherever I work? Well, it's never just one reason. Really, like, one thing could do it. That must have been an awful fucking thing for somebody to do to you, right? But Okay, that's neat. Destiny 2 will stay on battle.net, which I do have my battle.net ding. And I do have Destiny 2 because they gave it out for free. Which is interesting that they gave it out for free, because now they're like splitting. I don't think I have any of my personal information on here. No. Yeah. So they're going to keep this here. I assume the reason that they had to mention that is because Activision is actually the one with the deal. Yeah, because you can see like Call of Duty's right here. So Activision is the one that has the deal with Blizzard. So, whatever. You get what I'm going. So, am I optimistic about this? A little bit, because I've seen what these big companies like EA and Activision, and I don't hate that. Well, EA I kind of hate, just a little. I hate like 20% of my fiber hates EA. Activision I don't really hate. I actually defend them quite a bit, enough. But I understand that Activision does try to make money off of things like through microtransactions and stuff. Call of Duty, even that added the what do you call it? Like where like loot box system or whatever in Black Ops 3. I can't remember if Black Ops 4 here has that. I've played it a ton, but I can't remember for some reason. Ooh, that's got an update. Well, I'll do that after the podcast. Video games. Wow, I'm so excited. Gotta update my game so I can play right. But yeah, I'm a little optimistic as not a huge Destiny fan, which I was trying to make clear by giving you my thoughts on Destiny 1 and 2. I'm not a huge fan, like I said, but I liked it enough that I want to come back and keep playing it, and I want to play with my friends. Like, I like my custom character, but some of the like grind and microtransaction stuff is just not fun. Like, and there's not a whole lot to do, in my opinion, like I said, besides just run and shoot shit. But it is still really nice to be able to play something like that with friends. And if this gives Bungie any more creative freedom to like not have to worry about microtransactions and basically just do what they want to do and make either Destiny 2 or the next Destiny, if they make one, better, then I'm all for this. I don't really see this, like, why this would be a bad thing. I'm not really sure what Bungie ever got out of teaming up with Activision anyways. Like, overall. Obviously some publicity. Obviously they can do things like this. Put this on battle.net, which is pretty nice, But really, they could have just like put it on Steam or something like that. Hi, Rose. Yeah, I don't know. That's really all I have to say about that. I am optimistic about it. But I'm hoping that, like I said, this just gives Bungie more creative freedom that they want, and gives them an opportunity to focus their development on other things besides just or not just, but the time and effort they have to put in to do stupid microtransaction shit, put it into other things. That's always a good thing. So anyways, let me get one last yawn out before I start my last segment. Oh my god, I have not slept a whole lot in the last day, if you couldn't tell. But anyways, let's move on. Let's get this one. I promised the last podcast that I'd talk about it. This guy right here, you see me probably typing it in. Oh, let me just... And I'm looking it up because I want to get the guy's name, Iizuka. I know it's his last name, but I always forget his first name. There he is. Takashi Iizuka, who is still working at Sega, I believe. He said, actually this I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to thank videogamer.com and this guy, Mike Herodens. I don't know if I'm saying that right, for giving me this information here, because this is exactly what I was looking for. Takashi Iizuka has revealed during an interview with Retro Gamer via Nintendo Life that he'd be up for remaking the 1998 Dreamcast platformer. So that's not much of news. What I want to talk about more is what I would want in a Sonic Adventure remake. But I will say that Iizuka-san, or I call him Iizuka-san, that's what they call him on the Sega podcast. I think that's the same Iizuka that they're referring to there. There's a Sega podcast on YouTube, or Sonic one that they do on Sega's channel every 2 weeks. Oh, goodness. God, I can't stop myself from yawning. Anyways, wake up. I feel so bad for people who don't watch the full podcast and they just watch the segment. Random people who come to my YouTube, the Spicy Salsa YouTube channel, and they're just like, what the fuck? I came here for Sonic. Why is he yawning? And yeah. Anyways, so I've been playing, as you know, if you've been on my YouTube channel, which is right here, Spicy Salsa Entertain. You probably noticed that I've been playing more Sonic Adventure, which, by the way, I will play more soon. I played some Duelist of the Roses. I did a live stream. This video got a dislike, so that's nice. Anyways, so I've been playing some more Sonic Adventure. I will go back to that. And because I've been playing it, and this just so happened that he said that he would like a remake of this game, or he would consider tackling one. Ooh, cracking those knuckles. My knuckles don't chuckles, unlike Sonic. Because there is a potential, or he's talking about a remake, I'm just thinking, what would I want in a Sonic Adventure remake? Because I agree with his statement. What did he say? I gotta look it up again. God dang it. I want to know exactly what he said. But I believe he said something like, here's gamerrant.com. In a recent interview, he called it unique. Go away. 20 years after its initial launch, he pointed out how Sonic Adventure featured 6 different stories, 6 different gameplay styles, and the A-Life, I don't know what that means, Chow raising system, whereas most games don't have quite as much variety. I will say that is pretty cool about Sonic Adventure. If you were to make it, all those features remain intact, but perhaps some work would be done to the camera controls and graphics. Yes! Oh my god, please. Sonic Adventure was the very first 3D game that we worked on, and looking at it now, I can see the rough edges it has, which makes me really want to remake it again. Oh! I love that statement. Not too much, not too little. Exactly. As I'm playing through this, much as he just did, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I love it. I love it from when I was a kid. I love, I used to fucking run around Station Square and make up my own Sonic stories in the game. So, it's not that I don't love this game, but yes, there's some rough edges. It hasn't aged. I don't think it's aged terribly. I think that people that say, this game sucks, I still disagree with that. I'm like, no, this is a good game. Back then it was great. Now it's just good. It hasn't aged amazingly. Voice acting's poopy, although charming for the time, but poopy. Graphically, it still holds up fairly well. I would argue. Here, I can play my own fucking videos. I got it muted, but yeah, graphically that looks fine. Oh, I forgot my first episode didn't turn out great, but yeah, I mean, of course. Now, I agree. Of course, you would want to upgrade it graphically, but that's obvious. I don't think it looks ugly. He didn't say that. I don't know if maybe that's what he thought. He said to meet modern standards, so whatever. Obviously. But camera, abso-fucking-lutely. Camera's got a lot of issues. Sonic Adventure 2, same thing. Nothing game-breaking. It's just every now and then the camera gets fucking stuck. God, it happened a couple times here in this Big the Cat. I had a lot of issues on this level. Look at some gameplay we're doing. Like, ugh, look at that. But there's a lot of things that that definitely could fix. You know what it needs? And this is why I think they should do this. Sonic Adventure 1 really just needs a big old polish. I think, and some better put together platforming gameplay elements. I will say that. It would be really cool if they remade, so upgrade the graphics, sound, whatever, obviously, voice acting, some of the simpler things, make it so that Big's head doesn't fucking glitch through everything or whatever we're watching right now. When shit happens, see the camera there a little, the camera here, no, I couldn't get out of this pool here, things like that, the little things, right? But even go bigger. I know it'd take more time, but if it's Sonic Adventure, and if you were, what was it? I dropped my phone. Don't mind that. If I can't remember if I said it in another podcast, but when that Sonic shit show happened at E3 a couple of years ago, where they had announced Sonic Generations and Sonic Mania, if you remember the question or a fan in the audience asked Iizuka-san, who was there, specifically, Sonic Adventure, is there ever going to be a 3? And he had said, like, we want to do a 3, but it's one of those things, like, Sonic has a bad reputation. In some instances, some of the games are not top quality. If we do an Adventure 3, it's got to be top quality. It's got to be... If you go back and remake Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, those have to be top quality too. Now, you always have the original Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but you do kind of ruin the Sonic Adventure name a little bit, especially since even though Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, I think most people would argue are good games enough. I think there's a ton of gamers. In fact, I don't even know if I could say most at this point, but a bunch of people would say they're not actually good games, and you'd have to reprove to them not only is it quality, but I think that you'd have to meet modern quality too, just to be like, okay, it didn't suck back then, it doesn't suck now, this is why it was fun. This is, make people remember why it was fun, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Make them remember why it was good, because a lot of people do think they suck now, but also at the same time, make them understand that, or rather, fix the it hasn't aged well issue. Because there are certain things that have not aged well. Mario, what's it called? Mario 64. Yeah. Sorry. Mario 64 is much more polished. Now, obviously, it's hard to compete with Nintendo in that sense, but back then, at the time, Sega could. So nowadays, not as much. I could forgive. Oh God, look at that camera. I'm watching my own video on the stream here. Just yeah, we got it going on the stream here. Yikes! Every now and then, and that's all he's saying, But what I would do is add some even more just like better platforming elements, or not so much elements, but just sections and stuff, right? So basically go to Emerald Coast, add some things. Excuse me. Change up the design. Go to Red Mountain as Knuckles. Put the emeralds in some more unique spots. Make it so there's more emerald. Well, I don't know. 3's probably okay, but put some more platformy things. Put some more Sonic-y things. Obviously, they experimented with this game a lot with things like Big the Cat. We're watching Gamma right now. Stuff like that. That's all fine. Gamma's levels are just shitty platforming and tapping the B button to shoot things. Make them unique. Make them different. don't just port the old game, port it and then add a fuck ton. And I mean, like, make it Sonic Adventure plus plus plus. I think that is the best possible thing. And it might be easier than making a Sonic Adventure 3. As a matter of fact, I would do that, then do that for Sonic Adventure 2, which doesn't need a remake nearly as much, and then make a Sonic Adventure 3. Then Sonic would be back on the map. That's never going to happen. Sonic, it's not going to be well received, I don't think. If I could live in a dream world, I can't. I can live in a dream world, but I don't think there's actually any realistic futuristic world where Sonic is perceived as like awesome again. It's always like, yeah, it's weird, and then there's the furry community and stuff. But if they could successfully figure out how to do Sonic Adventure right now, that era, that GameCube, that original Xbox, PS2, even the PS1, anything between that era, Dreamcast, right, is considered like cool now. That's like the retro and awesome. God, now I'm coughing. Just random shit coming out of my mouth. Just like my podcast. Yeah, if they could get those down, I actually do think that's probably the most positive Sonic's ever going to get again. It's either that or make like something completely new, which clearly they're not very good at, you know. Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations were great. Sonic Unleashed Daytime was great. Too bad half the game was not daytime. No, more than half was not daytime. And then we get Sonic Forces and it sucks. And it's like, oh, how'd they go back to fucking this up? Anyways, it's always that. It's always that with Sonic. So I'm off topic again. I tend to do that a lot. Not a great podcast, you know. Not great for me to just go off topic whenever I feel like it. But it's my podcast. I'll do what I want. But anyway, yeah, that's really all I have on that even. And that'll just about do it for this podcast. I know it's a shorter one, but I intend to stream some Overwatch today at some point. Actually, I'll probably stream a short amount in a little bit here. That doesn't matter to you if you are watching this on YouTube, but do remember you can watch my stream at twitch.tv/BroccoClock. And you can follow me, just like my good buddy Mad Beast followed me today, which was very nice of him. I'm almost to 50 followers. That's very nice. Thank you to anybody who has followed me, subscribed to me on YouTube, followed me on Twitter, whatever. You know, if you're just involved somehow, thank you very much. Give me your thoughts on a potential Sonic Adventure remake, Metroid, any of the topics I talked about today, EA and Star Wars, Destiny and Bungie, and you know, whatever. Or give me topic ideas for next time. Whatever you want. But thank you for watching the Spicy Salsa podcast. I hope to see you next time. And thank you, Mad Beast. Thank you. Look, I'm going to... Mad Beast says, good stream, bud. Like your content. Thank you so much, Mad Beast. What a great... He's my new fave. But anyways, bye. Thank you for watching, everybody. And I will see you on the 10th podcast.